What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on another installment, yes, that is the second time this week that Rob is going to read you shit you probably don't want to read yourself. So as usual with these episodes, we're going to go ahead and cover a new dev workshop that has just popped out, Melee, Present and Future Goals. So you can go ahead and jump in game, do your little onslaught missions, go ahead and do some laundry or watch, a TV show or something, whatever you got to take care of in the meantime, write your papers, and let's go ahead and jump right on in. So for those of you guys who are unaware, this actually followed up the dev stream. They went ahead and dropped this after they were talking about what is going to be happening with Melee, and there are a lot of things. So I figured I would go ahead and push this out to you right now. So Rebecca went ahead and posted this. We all use this, even us here. The dizzying yet super effective slaughter tornado that can make all other arsenal weapons obsolete. But spin to win and melee going through walls should stay the way it is? At present time, we don't think so. So everybody who got really invested in, your Atarax plus range mods, and you were looking at all those things because you could hit enemies on other sides of walls, that's probably gonna go away. We do not think that melee is at its best when you are facing a wall and spinning into it over and over again, and if we do not address that, any work invested in our melee rework could be wasted. We want to make better melee overall. Primary and secondary weapons have gotten a pretty painless overhauls this year. Melee is coming. So as you can see, they've got some images on the screen where somebody is actually legitimately just spinning into a wall over and over, and you can see them striking enemies through it without the enemy even getting to look at them. Scenes like this are all too common. Our data shows this in mentioned particulars often by automation, and our minds show it just simply isn't fun. So for everybody out there, who was using your little macros, bye! The melee review is taking the longest. It has the most complexity. You can equip melee, use combos, channels, stealth kill, hit multiple targets, and so on. Removing the clear spin to win through walls is our first step in this plan of making all things melee engagement better. The first change in melee we see before its broader review is a change to how melee attacks work, the coming change. Melee attacks, including spin attacks, will no longer sweep through walls or objects. I mean, I admit that I've definitely used this tactic before, and it's nice to have like a long-range melee weapon, but I get it. There is gonna be obstacles in your path that are not gonna be able to hit enemies, so you're gonna have to go and engage. As for the rest of the steps, what follows is an open door to what we're working on internally. This may not release exactly as described here, but we want everyone to be on the same page of what our plans are. While channeling blocking is useful on paper, Holo 100% damage blocks plus enemy hits reflected back, channel damage has never really been celebrated in our cool factor. Getting rid of a separate channeling button frees up an input allowing an additional attack button to use in combos, making them easier to perform. This I'm kind of excited by, but I'm worried about how it's gonna play out when I actually play stuff, so we'll see. Channeling is blocking, blocking is channeling. Normal blocking now performs a channeled blocking, performs like channeled blocking currently does. Experiments such as constant energy drain or a separate resource blocked hits adding to combo counter are ongoing. So blocked hits could add to your combo counter, which is really cool. We're still working on how/if to include the cool factor of channeling in combat. Combo counter minimum hits per tier adjusted significantly, so higher tiers can be reached more quickly and easily. Combo counter damage multiplier may apply to heavy attack only, and all points are spent on the attack. So it's almost kind of like you're going to be using your base attacks just to build up your combo counters, and then you're going to go ahead and spend those combo points into your heavy melee. But I can hear a bunch of people who didn't watch the dev stream already get really anxious about that. Just pause your thoughts. Revisiting melee will focus on slam and heavy attacks to make them more useful and fun to use. You will be able to dual wield any one-handed weapon with any secondary weapon, as shown many moons ago on a dev stream. Okay, so we're getting the one-handed wielding thing. I'm excited. Dodge canceling any melee attack. Some people have been asking for this for a long time, so it's nice to see this. FX treatment representing the true range of melee attacks will be implemented. Now you'll be able to see them just right there in the animations themselves. You won't have to guess whether you'll be able to hit an enemy or not. Mod adjustments will come to speak to the above. We will be taking a look at anything. I actually feel bad because they didn't really mention it a lot. So let me go back to the part where they said that the combo counter is only going to affect heavy melee, or the heavy melee attacks. One of the things they did note in the dev stream is that while the combo counter won't affect the heavy melee, will only affect the heavy melee attacks and not the base melee attacks, the many weapons base damage is gonna go significantly up to compensate for it. So we'll be getting damage boosts on the base weapon itself to compensate for the fact that we're not going to have this combo counter that lets us go up and up and up and up and get more and more damage. But we will be using that combo counter for the heavy melees that will be out there. So I'm excited to see how that's going to affect things, especially the Venka Prime, because it's got its own custom melee combo counter. Last but not least, and sadly what only looks like one bullet point actually touches on well over 100 weapons and is in fact parallel to the depth of the secondary/primary weapon we reworked last year. Complete stat and mastery rank pass in line with the primary and secondary weapons. Oh, they mentioned it here. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole, DE. Well, I just jumped the gun. All right, base damage increased significantly to compensate for the loss of channeling and combo counter multiplier on normal attacks. They did mention it, just saying, and I feel kind of bad. Stances will be revisited to normalize combo inputs, and all combos will be reorganized to be more useful and fun to use. So here's some melee changes from the dev workshop. Let's go ahead and play that real quick so you guys can see. Let's actually maximize this. So as you can see right here, it's pretty basic. There's nothing all too crazy about it. But at least now you can see it's kind of normalized, and they've kept some of the animations in there, so it's not just boring. The one thing that I'm kind of worried about is how boring it can be with you when you don't have these flashy combos. And that was a nice little jump attack, and you can actually aim your jump attack to almost dive down on opponents. That's really, really freaking cool. They also showed this one in the dev stream, so as you can see right here. They've actually scaled these enemies up, is what they mentioned on the dev stream. So these enemies are going to be a lot tougher, but they're kind of showing what happens when you go ahead and use your combos to use the heavy attacks to almost like launch enemies. And I think you'll see it like towards the end of this. There you go. There's a little heavy attack, which you'll be able to spend your combo points on. So your basic attacks are actually going to be the ones that build up your combo counter, and then you'll be able to unleash it in a much bigger, more powerful strike, like that. So it does look really, really cool, and apparently your big, what is it called? Your big charge attacks will now no longer have the false swing, but instead you'll actually be able to just hit it with a normal button press. So wherever your channeling was before, it's now going to be your heavy attack. These windows show what we have made so far. The first is showing quick attacks and heavy attacks together, with emphasis on direction and ground attacks. The second video shows you how combat looks against invincible enemies, so you can get a feel. Exciting. So I wanted to say right now that there seems to be like a lot of things going on with these. There's a lot just kind of like inputted in. A part of me is nervous because I've really grown accustomed to the melee set that we currently have. I love the combo system. I love how in Naramon, we can get a lot of those melee combo points and we can store those up, and it just really lets us deal crap tons of damage. So I'm wondering how this is going to be when we lose the combo counter. I know we're going to get a lot of melee weapon buffs, so we'll get the damage straight away. And maybe they'll do like a little bit of a middle ground for it, where it's like, okay, you'll get the melee weapons, and instead of, the normal 4 times multiplier, you can get after like 20-30 minutes in a mission, unless of course you're using the slash proc combo counter increaser one, because that really does help you get your combo counter up real fast. But I'm really, really curious to see like where their middle ground is. It going to be? Is it going to be like they're going to increase melee weapon damage by 2.5 damage? Is it going to be 3 times damage? We'll have to see how that all pans out. Don't want anybody to get too nervous though, because if it all goes bad, we can always send our feedback to DE. I'm really interested too to see exactly how the heavy attacks are going to work, because we're going to be using our combo points to strengthen these heavy attacks like that. it seems really, really cool, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out. But yeah, I think I'm the least scared about spinning attacks. That's never been a thing, as you guys have seen on my channel. I don't put Maiming Strike on things just because I'm like, not really my cup of tea. Doing that over and over and over again. So, rip. Maiming Strike. Well, I think Maiming Strike will still be useful, but that is definitely going to be a big point of contention for some people. It really seems with the last few updates that DE has really gone into taking out the cheese, and I can't necessarily hate on that. I'm like, okay, they got rid of the spores they got rid of the spores molt thing, okay, cool, and now they're getting rid of spin to win. I'm like, I like how DE is really increasing the engagement of the game. So can't wait to see how this all plays out. I'm looking at my keybinds, like I'm mentally thinking about what my keybinds are going to be after this, and if there are going to be any combos that require us to block, and where that's going to be on my keybinds. Regardless, I want you guys to let me know how you feel down in the comments below, but if you have some long, drawn-out response, I highly suggest that you leave this on the dev workshop. Of course, also keep in mind you've never tested this, and this is something very, very different and very, very crazy, so make sure to, you know, be aware of the fact that you do not know all, you do not see all, and humble yourself down and be like, okay, this is what we're seeing so far, this is what we're worried about, and not go for the throat. Because some people, you know, they just jump at the first taste of blood. Regardless, leave your feelings so far down in the comments below. I'll go ahead and leave a link to the dev workshop, so if you've got something more in-depth that you want to share with them on the forums, go ahead and do that. And that about does it for me for now. I'm going to go ahead and work on the dev stream review video as always, so be sure to be checking out for that. And, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!